After the disappointing box office return of Halloween 3, Mustafa Akkad, the producer of the first 3 movies, decided it was time to bring back Michael Myers. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill both stepped down from the franchise, never to return again. You may be asking, well, after he exploded in the second movie, how could he have survived? Simply put, the explosion didn't kill him. Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but there's no point in getting angry at something that will never be answered. Wait a second, isn't that literally all I ever do in my reviews? Anyway, Dr. Loomis also survived, and he is one of the main characters in the movie, similar to the first 2 movies. Also similar to the first 2 movies, there are 2 plots that kind of blend together. There is Michael going after someone and Dr. Loomis trying to stop Michael, but it feels a lot fresher in this film than it did in the second film. The film starts with Michael being transferred to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. He overhears the doctors talking about his only relative being his niece and Laurie's daughter, a young girl called Jamie Lloyd. Michael then comes to life and makes the ambulance crash. He then escapes and sets out to kill Jamie Lloyd. Upon hearing this, Dr. Loomis starts to chase Michael to Haddonfield, following the trail of death and destruction that he leaves behind. Meanwhile, Jamie Lloyd is living with her foster family for no reason. It's never really explained why. She starts to have nightmares about Michael Myers, which is weird because she was never actually told what he looks like. She knows that her uncle tried to kill her mother, but she never found out what he looked like. When Jamie and her foster sister Rachel go out trick-or-treating, they are found by Dr. Loomis and the new sheriff, Sheriff Meeker. They all hide in Sheriff Meeker's house. We spend about 20 minutes inside the house, and it's probably the best part of the movie. It's very claustrophobic and quite creepy at times. The way Michael just happens to appear in the house is quite unnerving. At the same time, since the sheriff tells everyone in Haddonfield to stay inside, a lynch mob is formed to find out why. When they find out why, they set out to find and kill Michael Myers. I've always been a big fan of Halloween 4. I think it's one of the best slasher sequels of the 80s. It's got a lot of scary moments in the film, and it does a good job of capturing some of the scares from the original 2 movies, but at the same time changing a lot of them as well as adding in new ones. The acting is really good, and the introduction of Jamie Lloyd is fantastic. The 4th, 5th and 6th movies are usually called either the Lloyd Trilogy or the Fawn Trilogy due to the imagery and of course the massive revelations and curse of Michael Myers. The film has a lot of fun, and for a slasher sequel in the late 80s is surprisingly good. The film came out just as the slasher genre was starting to get stale and tired, but this film didn't end up feeling like a film such as Jason Takes Manhattan. The movie doesn't show the signs of a failing franchise or a lack of ideas. Sure, the plot is very similar to the first 2 movies, but it's not so similar that it feels like a cash-grabbing retread. The biggest problem I have with the film is how they kill Michael Myers. Michael Myers is shot by the lynch mob and the police, and he falls into a large hole. Really? That's how you kill him? And everyone just accepts that he's dead. He was shot 6 times.
I shot him 6 times!
And blown up in the first 2 movies, and he still survived. Getting shot by a few shotguns and falling into a large hole wouldn't kill him. After he supposedly dies, we get a massive plot twist that I really need to talk about because it sets in motion the events of part 5. So I'm just putting it out there, anyone that doesn't want their film spoiled, you're gonna have to skip the next couple of reviews. At the end, we see Jamie Lloyd stab her foster mother and stand at the top of the stairs in her Halloween costume holding a pair of bloody scissors. When I first saw this scene, my jaw dropped. I'd never seen an ending quite like it, and I've quite possibly never really seen one quite like it since. They could have gotten rid of Michael Myers and replaced him with Jamie Lloyd, the new adopter of Michael's evil. But sadly they don't do this, and Michael Myers comes back to get his revenge apparently. On who and for why, I have no idea. In conclusion, Halloween 4 is a fantastic slasher sequel. It borrows a lot from the first 2 films, but it still manages to feel fresh and new. It's one of my favourite films in the franchise. I give it a 9 out of 10.